Okay, we're back at the bitter end, and it's regular episode night, and we hope you've enjoyed what we've done so far. But tonight, it's a regular episode night. I'm Colin.
And I'm Malcolm, and I think we got some other sort of news to tell people as
Yeah,
well, right?
you know, if your screen is on full size and you're looking around going, wow, they're still at the bar, you've noticed somebody else is on set.
Chatty Matty.
Chatty Matty, who's a group member since the beginning, also a member of the paintball team from way back as well.
Yeah, actually one of the founding members.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, Chatty Matty, was your name on the paintball team always Chatty Matty?
It was not
What was it before it was Chatty Matty?
medic,
Why?
because I'm a nurse.
Because you're a nurse, so it made total sense that your name would be Medic.
Absolutely.
Now, why?
So let's just go to the point. Why do they call you Chatty Matty? Now.
Well, I would assume because you guys think I like to talk a little bit.
Oh, he likes to talk.
Oh man! In fact, we've actually got one of them dog collars that when the dog barks, I've already pushed it 3 times. Stop.
I think only once in my lifetime did we ever see him lose a talking battle, and that was to some old lady at a wedding, and it was classic. It was classic.
Well, the world ran out of oxygen, I think. They both took a breath, and everybody just fell over.
So as you can see, we've got a guest in the house. It's nice to have another person here. Obviously, we're taking our safety precautions and whatnot.
It's been since March since we've had anybody else at the bar.
It's been a tough decision to move on and to try to bring some normality to what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
But I think we've discussed it and we've had some freaking great feedback and
Yeah.
been like, okay, you know what? I think we're able to do a couple things now.
I feel okay about it. You know, as we know, I filmed this in my house, and I wouldn't do that, Mal, if I didn't feel okay about it.
No, and certainly you've pressed on this subject before, so
Yeah.
we've covered it and we've said, hey, look, this is what we're doing, and now look what we're doing now. And obviously, as we move down the timeline, we'll take steps to get back to where it used to be.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. And so this is good news for everybody, really, that Chatty Matty's here, because it means that we really are moving in the direction of having more on-set experiences with y'all. And so hopefully we'll get more of you up here as time goes on.
So let's just go over this again. Again, it's me and my buddy. His nickname that's starting to sort of take effect now is All Day. We'll cover that in a couple of episodes probably down the road. The job here is to basically drink my friend's Scotch, and he has a lot of bottles, and I've been invited to take part in this journey with him, and it's been a great start to the entire endeavor. And what happens is basically we randomly generate a number. This guy knows where the bottles are for the most part. How, I have no idea. We pick a bottle, we crack it open, and then it becomes completely uncensored, unedited, what we think.
Yeah. And of course, and that's why we use the website random.org. Still looking for the check, by the way. Because though I have a rough idea of where bottles are, we truly have no idea what bottle will be chosen. And again, it could be very commonly available, and it could be a one-off. There could only be 200 of those bottles on the planet. Who knows what we're going to pick, but what we do know is whichever bottle we get to, we are going to open and try. And tonight we're going to do that with our friend Chatty Matty. Now, Chatty Matty, as we get there, I can't help but notice that, you know, it's kind of a collared shirt kind of a place.
What do you expect from a Man United supporter?
And your shirt says something with whiskey, but it's not even spelled right. Because I got all these bottles that spell it Whisky. Do you even know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a lover of all whiskey, so you know, this is American whiskey, bourbon, you know.
One of them. He's probably a bait caster too.
That is not
That for
true.
you uneducated people. Now it's going to go into a fishing conversation.
No, I would have to say that I'm a true fisherman. I'll fish for anything with anything. So
I'm a catcherman, so you know. So what's the shirt say? I can almost see it from
it
here.
says whiskey, not the best source of electrolytes. So
True story. True story.
Which we have found out many, many times.
Yes. Why do I feel like this?
Yeah.
because
Why?
whiskey doesn't have electrolytes in it.
Because you weren't drinking electrolytes all night.
Right.
I mean, actually, I won't go there, but there's a
appreciate
great story of why.
appreciate
why
Oh
whiskey-
my gosh, I can think of a couple of stories.
All I can say, this man, when he is had a couple in him, is probably one of the best pool players I've ever seen in my life.
And he's a great judge of pavement. There's absolutely cool stuff.
All right, so let's get back on point here.
Yeah.
Why don't you generate a number?
I've
Let's
got
get
it
our
ready
balls
to
spun
go.
up, and let's get some drinking done.
All right, so I got the minimum maximum number. This time I just put in 1 and 2, so it's going to be one of these two bottles.
All right.
Yeah. So I got it all put in. I'm going to hit generate, and we're going to see what number we come with. The wheel is spinning. All right. So we are at bottle 175. So that is, I happen to know because last time we had this big debate about 195 or 205.
Yep.
So it's on the other wall. The only problem that I have is I think I've moved a couple of bottles around, and so we may be off by 1. So I unfortunately have to do a count. Now, I haven't done anything different up here, so that puts us at 98. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So 107, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 116, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 26, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 35, 2, 4, 6, 8, 44. 144, and we're moving around to the back side of the bar. 175.
Oh,
144.
this is gonna be a good one.
144. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 54. 2, 4, 6, 8, 64. 2, 4, 6, 8, 74. What number, Mal? 175?
175.
All right. Well, this is a bottle we've never had. It's the Loch Lomand. Well, let's bring it into the light at the bar, shall we? Original single malt Scotch whiskey. Let's see what we got here.
All right, I'm gonna go to the book, see if we can get some help out here.
Smooth to perfection, carefully matured in the finest American oak casks. No age statement. A Highland single malt Scotch whiskey with a distinctive background character with a hint of smoke and peat. Perfect anytime straight over ice or with a little water. Of course, those are your choices because if you did anything different than that, we have to have a conversation.
All right.
Loch Lomand.
So, we don't have that exact bottle, but they're going to say the tasting notes, the aroma, rubbery. Not quite sure how that plans out, but hey, all right.
I've actually had a whiskey with, it is one of the recognized flavors
All right.
of the 100 or so, 150 so odd flavors in Scotch whiskey. Rubber is a flavor that will come up sometimes.
Okay, so it's rubbery, nutty, a cheesy nose. The flavors are hot, a bit green, woody, strong, unbalanced character. So this one could be an interesting one.
Can I just see that book real quick while you take a look at another one? I just want to see. I'll assume it was alphabetical, right?
Don't push it there. Don't push it there. Just guess.
H-I-J.
Remember that.
K-L. Wolfessa O.
Actually, I'm up here missing them being given the trophy. That's how.
Oh
dedicated
my
I am.
gosh, are you guys still? All right, so this was Loch Lomand became operational in 1966, and it sits right on the imaginary line that divides Highland and Lowland. So it's considered a Southern Highland.
All right. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get much help from the books this time around.
It's okay, we've learned a little bit, and so I would look for it to be smooth. And I'm drawing on some of that lowland characteristics.
So since this is a Southern Highland, would you say it's going to be a peaty Scotch or not?
Well, they're saying some hints of peat. I've never had a dram of the Loch Lomand. I really don't have any idea. I would guess this, Loch Ness. We've actually, you and I have been to, were you in Scotland with us or just England?
No, that was when I was
Okay,
becoming a.
never mind.
Yeah.
So, you and I have been to Scotland together.
Correct.
And so we've been to Loch Ness, which really is Lake Ness.
Right.
Right. So it makes me feel Loch Lomand would be Lake Lomand.
It is.
Now I can't speak for any certainty there is actually a lake called Lomand.
There is, because I was there 3 years ago on my honeymoon.
Okay.
I was at Loch Lomond. So
All right. Have you been to the distillery?
I have not been to the distillery.
Did you lay eyes on it? Is it something that you can recall?
No, the road we were on went by. It was off
Yeah.
a little ways, but the lake or the loch, I should say,
Yeah.
I did lay eyes on. So.
Okay. So we know that Loch Lomand is an actual physical location
Correct.
in Scotland, and there is a distillery there. Okay.
All right. So I think it's time to do what you do best
We should try it.
and what I enjoy hearing.
All right, let's see. There's that little tab. You know what I really liked about what bottle was it, Mal, where it just had the tax stamp over the top?
That was our last. Was it our last? No, not the last episode. The episode before. That was the.
I just thought that was neat. Other than, I mean, these tin strips, you know, they work really well and it's good. But I just like that old throwback tax stamp over the top. Oh, was it? Oh no, everything gets moved now. Well, there's one too, but that's a different bottle.
It was.
Oh gosh, I should be able to see it from here.
What we should do is, maybe have a list of stuff that we have tried. and
Get
that would-
carried
that was
away
really-
here.
yeah,
All right,
that's
ready?
what-
This is for you. Nothing.
Oh. Very clever. Very clever. He's like a magician.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like that. Like that.
Oh,
You smell the rubbery?
I don't smell the rubbery,
All right, I don't even know what rubbery
but
smells
I
like.
got like some very faint smoke, very faint. Actually, I might have a little bit of the rubber in the bottle. Let's find out.
It's got a sweet smell, and if I didn't know
Let's get
better,
Chatty Matty's glass over here.
if I didn't know better, and I'm not a cheese connoisseur by any sense of the means, but it does have a slightly cheesy after
Yeah,
smell.
I think I can pick that up as well.
All right. Well, this is the no age statement Loch Lomand single malt. And I know that they have some other varieties. They do a single grain, I think, as well. But let's just take a little time with our nose and then take a little taste, and we'll talk about what we
smell the
experience.
sweet. Definitely smell the sweet.
I'm picking up that smoke
Yeah.
on the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I get more than sweet is the smoke.
Yeah. Sweet right away in the mouth, though. Right away.
Actually, that's a rather pleasant, just like burst of flavor.
It really, it sweet right in, and then it just expands.
Little heat. Almost, always feel like I've had a mint.
Faint, very faint on the heat.
Yeah, not so much heat. Just right. It's not spicy.
No, for
No.
sure. Just enough to like just be like, oh, I can feel it a little bit in here now.
Yeah,
But very, very faint.
Yeah.
But definitely a burst of flavor. It gives it right to you, straight off the top.
And I'll say this too. I feel like I'm getting different experiences on my nose and in my mouth. I'm having different sensations. Like I'm not tasting nearly the smoke that I'm smelling.
See,
I
I do
thought-
not smell that. I do not smell that smoke.
I thought it would be stronger on the smoke when you tasted it,
Right.
but it wasn't.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
You don't pick up any of that?
No, it's more. I don't know. I wouldn't call it smoky.
I don't want to call it smoky either. I think there's just a faint wisp of it on the nose, but I don't have any of it in
No,
my
the
mouth.
taste wise, definitely not. If
No.
if you had said, hey, look, I can smell the smoke on this, and I would expect it to taste it, I've definitely not tasted it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm getting it a little more afterwards.
Smoke?
Yeah.
Like after it just sits with you for
Like,
a while?
like after I've swallowed it and I've taken a few breaths, I can kind of get a little bit of that taste in my mouth. I'm also thinking about it too, but that's
Pretty
when I
refreshing.
feel it. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's like I said, it's a nice burst of flavor.
It is not what I was expecting.
It's not like and actually I think it was the one that had the little strip on. That had a really punchy taste to it.
Yeah.
It came on, gave it to you, but it was full flavor. It was
Yeah.
the one we rolled over our tongues and was like, oh,
Right.
okay, yeah, you know. This one actually just sort of just gets you. It just hits you straight off the bat, and it's rather pleasant.
Oh, it was the Deanston.
The Deanston,
The Deanston was the tax stamp over the top.
but this is rather pleasant.
And we're not in the business of comparing the whiskeys, previous whiskey to this whiskey, because it's so different. But this one feels almost as if it's a complete whiskey the way it is. We have some different nosing sensations, different smells, and then we have different tastes. The body seems pretty decent. It's not very thick, but it's definitely not thin.
Yeah.
No, and it's you know, like we had discussed before. This is another one that just came straight out of an oak cask.
Right, an American oak.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that was it.
That
No enhancements,
Right.
no nothing else beyond. And it really is a very, very flavored.
And so what we know about no age statement Scotch is that in order to be a Scotch, it has to be at least 3 years entire process occurring in Scotland to be single malt. Then there's the other requirements, but at least 3 years to be called a Scotch. If it's 10 years old or older, the likelihood of them giving it an age statement is pretty high.
Okay.
So you'll see whiskeys at 10, 11, a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 20-year-old. They'll be given that age statement. So when we don't see an age statement, the likelihood of it being somewhere of, and I'm just going to make up numbers, but they're going to be low numbers, like 6 to 8 years, right?
Yeah.
3 to 9 years, you know, six, probably more in the 6 to 8 for it to take on some of the woody flavors that we're getting. But probably less than 10 years in the cask, because the age statement becomes a selling point as well.
Correct.
For them to increase some of, you know, if this is 12 years in a cask, they're going to tell people that, and they're going to charge a little bit more money generally.
And I'll throw this out just as a note. Age doesn't mean everything,
No.
as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. You know, and I've drank some really good older stuff that's been around, and obviously some stuff that's just come out, and you're 10-year-old and stuff like that. But don't ever go for a bottle just because it has age. Go for it with what you read and what the flavors may be, and if maybe that was something that tickles your fancy.
Right. Because whiskeys, and you know, not that we're here to discuss age completely, you know, we're having the Loch Lomand, but whiskeys can turn at a certain point. A whiskey can have aged too long, and the flavor of that whiskey will become too woody, almost unpalatable, because it has spent too many decades in the cask. And so that's why these fellows in the distilleries spend their entire day, and it'd be probably a pretty sweet job, rolling around, tasting all the individual casks, making, you know, and understanding this one is ready, right? Because there's a certain point where it's ready, and then it'll have drop off. And so age isn't everything. You can have there are some pretty old whiskeys out there that are not super palatable.
I find on this one too, especially for, you know, I can't really say this is a young whiskey, but unaged, like you were just discussing, being probably under 10 years old-ish. A lot of the young whiskeys, to me, and I'm not sure if I'm using words that, you know, the distillers would use for that, but are more sharp, more pungent, more strong. They're more aggressive whiskeys.
They haven't
they-
rounded
they-
over.
Right,
They
they
haven't
haven't mellowed out in
Yeah.
that kind of 10+ year range, right? This is not that to me. This is a very, you know, easy whiskey to drink. It doesn't give me any, like, when I put this in my mouth, it doesn't just hit me like a hammer going, oh, that's
No,
harsh. It's really, like, this could be an everyday sipping
It
whiskey
feels
for me.
pretty complete.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's just we've covered this bit. Let's move on to the next stage of this, and I'm gonna just add ice to mine because I don't feel like I need to really do anything else around here. I think I like this drink. I could drink it straight.
Right.
But I'm gonna do just ice to see what it tastes
I
like.
just want to note one thing, and I think we are on to ice or water or keeping it neat. I've just, as maybe you've just noticed, you know, couldn't keep my hands off it, just had another sip. And I really began to taste some of that smoke
All right.
as it's now been breathing a
They
little
waited
bit.
a little bit. Yeah.
Right,
So having it exposed to the air,
yeah.
just sitting around, maybe the warmth of your hand.
Yeah, you know, any number of factors.
All right.
Right, but for the first time, I tasted some of the smoke that I've been nosing.
All right. Well, I'm gonna move on to ice.
Yep. I'm gonna just have a little bit of room temperature water.
Cheese, chocolate,
I think I'll just keep mine like it is.
And Chatty Matty will stay neat.
I like it.
just like a penny knife.
Another one of them Man United slams. Now, who won the league this year?
That would be Liverpool, and we're going to get presented with the trophy today. Okay.
Got something to say, Mel?
Oh yeah. That Now I can taste the smoke.
All right, you've got the smoke, right?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Now that was full burst on smoke, but
Now
not to a
I'll try
point
it.
where it was like obnoxious.
Yep.
But definitely,
I think it's releasing in the air too, as it's exposing.
that's a whole different taste.
Yeah.
It's still enjoyable.
Yep.
Still really enjoyable, but that is a completely different taste.
Yep. It's interesting what happens with the oxygen, with a little bit of time for it to breathe, because it's a fine spirit.
Yeah.
Right. So all these factors will matter.
Oh yeah. Very much so.
But it is really good.
You know, I'll be honest. You know, this bottle's been around for a couple years in the bar. Purchased in the States, I believe, pretty commonly available. And no offense to Loch Lomand, I don't know if I held out high hopes for this bottle, for any number of reasons. But
I think
that's dashed.
Dashed.
yeah, this is a very palatable whiskey. I think it's pretty complete, from consistency to flavors from nose to mouth to, you know. I'm real happy with this whiskey.
And I think on that note,
So, if you've been paying attention to the series, we've gone a little long this time. We've got another minute or so. We end with, say it out loud to yourself, right? Cheers in a foreign language. And today we're going to go with Lithuania. Earlier today I attended my 92-year-old grandmother's funeral. And she was Lithuanian. And 92 is a good run. And so we're going to give a cheers in Lithuania, or Lithuanian.
Iswe kata.